The Golden State Warriors are officially on high alert, and the entire NBA world is suddenly buzzing again because something huge is happening behind the scenes. Over the last 24 hours, league insiders, front office execs, and even players around the league have started whispering the same thing: the Warriors are preparing to make a trade. And the craziest, most emotional, and most unexpected part of all this is that Jonathan Kuminga's name is suddenly right back in the middle of everything. Yes, Kuminga. The young star who was supposed to be untouchable, the future face of the franchise, the guy Warriors fans were begging the team to build around, now might be at the center of the Warriors' next massive move. And the signs are getting harder and harder to ignore. Something is happening in Golden State. And if you're a Warriors fan, buckle up, because the next few days could completely reshape this franchise for the next decade. Let's start with what kicked everything off. A few insiders revealed that multiple teams have recently reached out to the Warriors, asking about the availability of Kuminga. Normally, the Warriors front office would immediately shut that down. They've done it before. They've always said they're committed to JK, that he's a cornerstone piece, that he's not going anywhere. But this time that answer wasn't so quick. And the fact that the Warriors didn't instantly hang up the phone is the first sign that something real is happening. Because here's what people around the league have learned: the Warriors are no longer saying no. They're saying, "What's your offer?" That alone is enough to send shockwaves through Warriors Nation. When a franchise changes from protecting a player to listening on him, that means they're at least considering something major. And considering the Warriors' current reality and aging Steph Curry, inconsistent roster pieces, pressure from ownership to win, now it's becoming clearer and clearer why this shift is happening. The front office knows that the window with Steph Curry is closing. They know they can't waste any more seasons. They know that if they don't build a legitimate contender around him right now, they risk wasting the final prime years of the greatest shooter the game has ever seen. And that pressure is exactly what's forcing Golden State to consider a move they never thought they'd make, putting Jonathan Kuminga on the negotiating table. But here's where things get even more interesting. This isn't just a random rumor. This isn't just some anonymous tweet. There are actual conversations happening behind the scenes that involve top-tier players, all-stars, defensive anchors, potential franchise-changing pieces. Players that would immediately shift the balance of power in the Western Conference. And the Warriors know that if they want one of those guys, they're not getting him for role players and late draft picks. They would have to give up someone valuable. And right now, the player every team wants is Jonathan Kuminga. Now let's talk about why the league is so obsessed with him. Kuminga's athleticism, his two-way potential, his ability to take over games physically like nobody else on the Warriors can. This is exactly the type of young star every rebuilding team wants. And his breakout last season proved he's not just potential, he's production. But at the same time, the Warriors know something else. If they keep Kuminga, they're still years away from him becoming the superstar he could be. And that timeline might not match Steph's timeline. That's the dilemma. Keep the future or maximize the present. But there's another layer to this. Kuminga has made it clear over and over that he wants a bigger role. He wants minutes. He wants trust. He wants to be a featured star. And although he earned that last season, there were still moments, especially during the playoffs, where frustration boiled over. The situation between JK and Steve Kerr wasn't always smooth. There were moments of tension, disagreements about rotations, questions about usage. And some insiders say that those issues have not completely disappeared. If the Warriors believe that the relationship can't fully stabilize, that could speed up the decision to trade him instead of risking another year of frustration. Now here's the part that Warriors fans need to pay very close attention to. Multiple insiders are saying the Warriors have been in internal meetings discussing potential roster-changing moves. And Kuminga's name has come up repeatedly as a possible outgoing piece in packages centered around major upgrades. The Warriors aren't just exploring small tweaks. They're looking at bold, aggressive, franchise-shifting options. Things like acquiring a defensive anchor to finally fix their interior issues. Things like adding another scoring wing to take pressure off Steph. Things like bringing in a veteran star who can keep this team competitive immediately. And what's even more shocking is that some within the organization believe this might be the final offseason to make a move like this before the team falls too far behind the Western Conference's rising contenders. You look around the league: Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Dallas, they're all young, long, physical, and improving every single year. Golden State, on the other hand, is aging. Draymond Green is past his peak. Klay Thompson already left. The bench is inconsistent. The margin for error has disappeared. The front office knows they need size, length, shot creation, and defense. And they know they won't get all of that unless they sacrifice something meaningful. There's also something going on with Steph Curry behind the scenes. People close to Curry have said he wants the team to be more competitive now. He loves Kuminga, he supports him, he wants to see him succeed, but Steph also understands that his championship window isn't open forever. If the Warriors asked him, "Do you want to wait 3 more years for Kuminga to reach his prime?" Steph's answer would probably be, "I don't have 3 years to waste." Now let's talk about the players Golden State might be targeting. And no, this isn't random speculation. These are the types of names that insiders say the Warriors have either discussed internally or have been monitoring closely. Players like Mikal Bridges. Players like Lauri Markkanen. Players like Jarrett Allen. Players like Brandon Ingram. Players like Pascal Siakam. Players who are either available, could become available, or fit exactly what the Warriors need: size, length, shot creation, defense, and veteran experience. All of these players are the type of stars who immediately help Steph and fit the system. But the asking price for every single one of them starts with Jonathan Kuminga. And here's where the situation gets even more chaotic. Some people inside the Warriors front office reportedly disagree on what the team should do. There are people who want to keep Kuminga no matter what, believing he's the future of the franchise. There are others who think the team should trade him while his value is sky high, because they need veteran star power right now. And then there are people who believe they should wait until the trade deadline. And that internal conflict is part of the reason fans are feeling so much uncertainty right now. Even the Warriors themselves aren't fully aligned. But the biggest sign that the Warriors are preparing for something major is this: the front office has stopped giving strong public statements about Kuminga's long-term future with the team. Last year, they were defending him constantly. This year, silence. And in the NBA, silence is loud. Silence almost always means something is happening privately. The fact that the Warriors are not shutting down rumors is a huge red flag that something is in motion. Another major clue? The Warriors have been evaluating trade scenarios involving players that would require moving a young star and draft capital. The only young star with that type of value is Kuminga. Moses Moody doesn't get you an all-star. Patchkick doesn't get you a franchise-level defender. Brandon doesn't get you a 20-point scorer. Only Kuminga does. That's why other teams keep calling. And that's why the Warriors are finally picking up the phone. But does this mean Kuminga is definitely leaving the Warriors? Not necessarily. In fact, there's still a very real chance the Warriors keep him and decide to build around him as the future face of the franchise. Steph Curry isn't retiring tomorrow. And Kuminga's development has been incredible. The team could easily decide, you know what, we're rolling with him. He's part of our long-term plan. And that remains a strong possibility. But the difference now is that trading Kuminga is no longer impossible. It's no longer off the table. It's officially an option. And the fact that it's an option means Warriors fans should prepare themselves emotionally for any outcome. If the right superstar becomes available, someone the Warriors believe can win with Steph, immediately Golden State will make that call. And that's why the NBA world is suddenly watching the Warriors closely. Something is brewing. Something is shifting. Something major is coming. And the front office knows it's time to decide the future of the franchise, build around Kuminga or trade him to build around Curry. One thing is certain, this story is far from over. The phones are active. The conversations are happening. And Warriors fans should expect breaking news at any moment. Because once the Warriors commit to making a move, they won't hesitate. And the NBA world will feel the impact immediately. Stay tuned because things in Golden State are about to get wild.